Now, as the countdown continues for Hamas to make a decision on President Trump's Gaza peace plan, a senior figure for the militant group has told the BBC they're likely to reject the proposals. The official said the 20-point plan only served Israel's interests and ignored those of the Palestinian people. Donald Trump has warned Hamas that will pay in hell if it doesn't agree to his plan. Some of the key points include Israel immediately stopping all military operations in Gaza and all Israeli hostages being freed within 72 hours of a deal being agreed. Full aid would then begin to flow into Gaza immediately. No Palestinians would be forced to leave under the plan, and Gaza would be redeveloped for Gazans. A new transition government would be formed, overseen by what's called a Board of Peace, chaired by Donald Trump and including other present and former heads of state, among them former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Israel would not annex Gaza and there'd be no role for Hamas in its government. Well, let's speak to our Gaza correspondent, Rushdie Abu Alouf. Rushdie, can you tell us more about why Hamas is likely to reject this plan?
Well, because they believe that there is 3 or 4 points in this plan that doesn't go with what Hamas all the time was demanding and what they say that all Palestinians are demanding. I'm not sure about this, but this Hamas leader said that this doesn't guarantee that Israel will withdraw fully from Gaza and will. There is no sign that there will be a permanent long-term ceasefire, and also they reject the idea of, laying down their weapon. They said we can only do this if there is a Palestinian state created or promised, at least by this plan, Trump plan. Seems to be Hamas is leaning towards rejecting this, or at least saying yes, but the usual answer by Hamas. I mean, the longer Hamas takes to answer or to respond, the more pressure are built on Hamas. Yesterday, there was separate meetings with the Turkish official, Egyptian officials, Qatari officials, ended by a joint meeting of the 3 officials with Hamas that took 2.5 hours last night. Also, some of the Palestinian factions have met Hamas last night. All of them are trying to convince Hamas to accept this deal. Well, many Palestinians in Gaza also are building pressure on Hamas. Some of them say that this is not the best deal, but any deal that can stop the war, we are in favor of it. I mean, people who are like very few people who have access to the internet, the people who we managed to speak to yesterday all day and last night, they all want Hamas to agree to this document. And it seems that because, the documents has been there even before the official announcement. So Hamas is well aware of all the 20 points. So the longer it takes, the more, worried the people in Gaza are that Hamas might also reject this time a proposal that could end the war.
And Rushdie, presumably those Palestinians that you've been talking to, I mean, they need food, they need aid, don't they? And that is the promise if Hamas agrees.
Yes, they need the war to stop as well. It's been almost 2 years of people living in hell, as they all the time describe it. I mean, more than 66,000 people have been killed, and over 100,000 people are missing or injured or left the country. People are continued to displace from Gaza City, the biggest city, where we believe 300 to 400,000 people are still squeezed in some of the small area that the army is not captured yet. The tanks are surrounding Gaza City from all direction, 4-5 direction, and in some places they are about 400-500 meters away from Gaza city center. So while the talks, the people are waiting for Hamas to respond, the Israeli army are expanding the operation in the ground, and more misery and more suffering the people are there. Still, the prices of the food are very high. Maybe the famine is not as before, But still the prices of food are very high. There is no clean water, and now Khan Yunis, the place that half of it is occupied by Israel, is now receiving hundreds of thousands of displaced people from Gaza. So there is people living on top of each other in some places like Al Mawasi, where there is no clean water and no access to food or medicine.
OK. Thank you, Rushdie, for updating us on what's going on in Gaza and, of course, the response from Hamas. Rushdie Abu Aalouf, our Gaza correspondent.